الرحيم يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح اللهم صل على محمد وبارك وسلم ربنا زدنا علما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Okay, so today we'll start from where we left, but before that, I would like to ask you a few questions saying how much have you remembered. Sister Hudma, can you please tell me what did we study about Failul Lazim yesterday?
Um, so basically, before that, it went on. You taught us about how مفعول به and نائب الفاعل fill the same role,
Mm-hmm.
even though they may have different labels and statuses within the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And then you we spoke about how there are some sentences that they lack a مفعول به um because that sentence lacks it because the fi'l within the sentence cannot take a مفعول به. And you gave examples, and those fi'ls that can't take a مفعول به are called فعل لازم.
Mm.
And you gave examples of if you say to read, reading,
Mhm,
you can say I read something,
mhm.
but if you say to sleep, then that would be an example of a fi'l lazim because you wouldn't say to sleep what, you wouldn't like you wouldn't need a مفعول به.
Okay, yes, that's a good way of explaining it. So, the sums and the af'als that cannot take maf'ul bihi are failul lazim because you cannot explain the action further as a what on who. So that's why, just like say, we give the example of sleep, like the example of worry. So if you say he is worried, then you can say he is worried something and someone. You can say he could be worried about something and someone, but he cannot be worried directly. You cannot have a maful bihi to that. So such kind of an af'al are of fi'lul lazim, and when we have a fi'lul lazim, we cannot convert that sentence into a passive form because for to have a passive form, we need a fail and a naibul file, and naibul file comes from the maful bihi in a regular jumla failure. So that's why these sentences or jumlas with the fail lazim cannot be converted into the passives. Very good. So today we'll talk about the other form of a verb which is called fail mutadi, and I want Sister Samia to please read it for us.
Ustad, I'm getting my daughter ready for nursery. Inshallah, in 10 minutes I'll be free.
Okay, so Sister Habiba, can you please read for us?
Yes, yeah. الف... الفعل
Mutadi.
المتعدي
Mm-hmm.
متعدي. A فعل متعدي is the opposite of فعل لازم. It is the فعل that can take a مفعول به.
So stop here. So this is simple. So regular jumla failure, if that can take a maful bihi, it is a failul mutadi. There's a new name for it now, which is failul mutadi. Or we can call it a regular is fail with that can take a maful bihi. Right,
Okay.
please?
Yeah, this is because the nature of the action is such that it affects something else or someone else.
Hmm.
To figure out if a maful
If a fail,
mutad fail is mutad, use the
yeah.
same test mentioned previously.
Yes. So
This type of
what was the test we did previously?
figure the mutad fail is mutad, use the same test. Okay, same test means we should check is it with
No, 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 no,
ooh,
no.
ooh,
We're not
no?
making it passive. We are saying that a fail. How did we check that the fail is lazim or fail is mutadi? What do
Okay,
we have?
if we find the fail maful bihi, then it is
So what is a
failul
maful bihi?
yeah.
What is maful bihi?
Maful bihi is a in a failul nasab form in the fail
Fail maful bihi is
jumla,
something that answers the question of
what
something
and
and
whom is done,
what and whom the action is done to.
done to.
Yeah. So some
Yes.
if we have something, someone and something that you can add it right after the fail in English without adding any preposition, we call these kind of fail as failul mutadi, and if we cannot, then this is a failul lazim,
Last, yes.
right? So
Yes.
failul mutadi can be converted into passive because we have maful bihis, and maful bihis become our naibul file. But failul lazim, since we do not have maful bihi, we do not have any action done to, so the possibility of passive does not exist. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll do this drill to check that the given fail are mutadi or lazim. Okay, so I want Sister Hodma to please do the first line. Tell me to carry, to eat, to cry, which is mutadi and which is lazim.
Okay. I to cry. I cry something.
You cry
I
something? Can
cry.
you cry
No,
something?
sorry. No, no. I was just in my head. I was putting the thing.
Okay, okay, okay,
So
fine.
I cry is fi'l lazim,
Because you cannot
but
put I cry someone, I
yeah,
cry Mariam, I
something.
cry Hamza. I cannot do that.
But
Right?
the other two are how do you pronounce it? Muta'ad,
Mutad.
muta'ad.
Mm. So
That's
this
what the
is
other two are.
this is lazim, not mutad, right?
Oh, the first one is lazim,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can say I eat something
Mm.
or I carry something. So the other two are muta'ad.
They are mutad. Very good. Sister Habiba, the middle line, please.
Sorry, which one? To eat.
To read, to write, and to worry.
Or to read. To read, I read. I read. Yeah, it is mutad
Yes, boy.
because I have to read something.
I can read something and I can read. Yes, that's good.
Yes. And to disappear, disappear.
No, I said to read, to write, and to worry.
Oh, to read, to write. Okay, okay. To read, to write. Write is I write. Yes, it can be also mutad.
Mm-hmm. And to worry.
And to worry for what? To worry. Yeah, yes, it can be also.
Okay. Like you can say, I worry, Hodma. I am worried, Hodma.
Oh, no, no, no. We need a preposition. Yes,
So we
it is
cannot
lazim.
cannot be mutad. It is a lazim. Okay,
Yes.
good. Sister Samia is not here. Sister Hodma, can you do the last one as well? Last line, please.
Um, I dis- I despair something.
Hmm. You can despair something. So
Yeah.
this is mutad. Wash.
Muta'ad. And the same with wash. I wash something. You can say that. And I
Yes.
fold clothes. All three of them are
All of
muta'ad.
them are mutad. Okay, so all them can be converted into passives.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this was simple, mutad and lazim. Now there is a tricky one. There is never a topic without a tricky one. So there's the tricky one coming for the passives, and I want Sister Hodma to sorry, Sister Habiba to please read for us.
Yeah. Ulimna.
No, no, no. Read
Oh,
the text. Al fi'l mutadil maf'ulain.
okay, okay. Sorry,
Uh,
sorry.
So first try to dissect the heading. What do you understand from the heading? Al failul mutadi maf'ulain.
Yeah. Okay. Failul mutadi maf'ulain.
L-
Okay. A failul mutadi maf'ulain is a fail that can take two maf'ul bihi.
no, no, no. I'm not asking you to read from downstairs. Say,
Okay.
try to analyze the heading.
Example.
No, the heading. Al
Okay.
failul
Heading.
mutadi maf'ulain. If
Failul
if somebody did it to you, you are a Arabic student now. What do you understand from it?
al mutadi al mutadil maf'ul
Lain.
maf'ulain. Yeah.
What is al fail?
fail is no maful. No, there
Try
is
to
no.
explain it to me in English. What is al-fail?
Al fail is a verb.
A verb or the action. And it has
Or
al-fail
action.
means the verb and the action, right?
Action. Yes.
Mm. The
And al
action.
mutadi is a maful.
Al-mutadi is a is
Sentence
a
with
verb
maful.
that can take maful.
Yes.
The fail that can take maful. Al-fail mutadi means the verb or the action that can take
Maful.
maf'ul,
Be-
maf'ul bihi. And
Yes.
what this maf'ulain means?
Maful line. It's new term, I think.
So just try to say it's al maf'ulain is it it is a ism or it is a verb or it is a
Yeah,
hal.
it is maful line. Line is ism, I think, because ain.
It is al in before if it's so it's an ism, sister. Why are you going for the ending?
Okay, yes, yes, al for the al. Yeah.
Al, and you know what is maf'ul? Maf'ul is a detail. So maf'ulain means what?
Offline is also offline details, so it's ism in
Muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina,
maini,
mani.
muslimaini, main- muslimaini,
Yeah, so
and nasab or jar,
so maf'ulain means what? It's a single, it's a dual, it's a plural.
offline muslimain, muslimaini, dual,
It's a dual. So maf'ulain means what?
offline,
When we're
yeah.
talking about dual, how many?
Two,
Two maf'uls, right?
yes,
Al-fail mutadi maf'ulain means what? A fail with two
two more.
maf'uls.
Okay.
We are not just learning Arabic to pass exams. That's why we do not have any exams like grading
uh,
marks or something. We are learning to implement. And if you cannot implement on your whatever you're reading, what's the point?
yeah.
So please start your brain to work. I know it's difficult because we are not used to this type of learning. We learn thing in isolations. So it doesn't mean that if we start learning Quranic Arabic doesn't mean we cannot apply Arabic to anything else. There is nothing new. Everything you knew already, but you just didn't think about thinking it, isn't it? I know this is a
Yeah.
barrier because of our conventional learning practices that we have been introduced to, but that's why we are breaking it and try to make it our learning to use, isn't it? So the heading says it all. If I say al-fi'lul mutadi al-maf'ul al-maf'ulain, so as a Arabic student, you should understand what we are talking about, right?
Mm.
Sister Hodma, do you understand what we are saying here?
Yes, you were breaking down the meaning using the knowledge that we've studied to basically understand maf'ulin.
So if
What
something comes up
sentence?
in Arabic, you do not have to panic saying that, oh, this is in Arabic, we don't know. At we are at this level of learning that there was nothing new in this heading, but since it was in Arabic, we are not used to process it like we used to process the English one. But
Yeah.
since this is nothing new, the heading gives you everything away. If either heading was like the verb that take two details, then you will be, oh, it's about a verb that take two details. But now we are talking about al-fi'l mutadil mafulain, and it's the same thing. So we should, inshallah ta'ala, begin a practice of implementing what we are learning before thinking that we do not or we might not know. So this is most of the thing that we know already. We just are not used to practice it. So inshallah ta'ala, from the next time, whenever you see something, before saying that you do not know, try to looking for the translation somewhere, try to work on it so that the Arabic text does not scare you off anymore. Isn't that?
Sure.
Inshallah. Okay, sister Hodma, I want you to read the text beneath it, please.
فعل متعد المفعولين
Mm.
لين is a fi'l that can take two مفعول بهs. It is relevant for our studies of passive because a passive sentence can only have one naibul fa'il.
Yes, stop here. We are talking about fail mutadi. We say that for only fail mutadi can be converted into a passive because lazim does not have maful bihi. But now we are studying about a mutadi bil mafulain. So it means a mutadi with two mafuls. So it is that we have something or somewhat or someone and something, right? So we may have this two maf'ul bihis for one fail, but we can only have one naibul file, isn't it?
Yeah.
We cannot have more than one naibul files. So this is the tricky part comes that what to do when we have a mutadil mafulain. How do we convert it into a passive? So this is what we are going to see in this one,
Ustada,
please. Yes.
um, I just caught what you said. I just want to, because my daughter's just gone to nursery, because I missed the beginning. I just heard your explanation now. Can I just repeat it to see if I understood?
Yes, please.
Okay, so الفعل متعدي المفعولين, it can have two مفعول بهيس.
Hmm.
So because in passives you don't have مفعول به, you only have متعلق, you have only have نائب الفاعل. So this is the only situation where you have one نائب الفاعل and one مفعول به.
We haven't gone to that part yet. We were just
Oh, okay.
here
Oh.
that saying that we when we have the situation when we have mutadil mafulin, so we have to see what to do because we can have only one naibul file. And since you have said it, we will read and we will see, inshallah. Sister Hodma, please continue reading.
When a fi'l muta'add ala maf'ulain appears in a passive form, it takes only one na'ib al-fa'il and one maf'ul bihi.
Mm,
This is the only circumstance in which you will find a maf'ul bihi in a passive sentence.
okay.
Take a look at the following example.
So, as Sister Samia said that when we have two maful bihis in the case of mafulain, then what you do, one will convert into an IBL file and the other would remain as a maful bihi. So if you come across a passive sentence where there is a maful bihi in it, so you should have to be aware of that it is because of that fail, and that fail could have two maful bihi. So one was converted into an IBL file and other remained as a maful bihi in the sentence. So we cannot say that the passive sentences can never have maful bihis. Passive sentences can also have maful bihi if the fail is al-mutadil maf'ulain. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes,
Sister
Yes, this is,
alhamdulillah.
this is
Samia,
an
sister.
exception, not the rule.
Sorry?
This is an exception, not the rule.
This is an exception, not the rule, but since it's up till now we have been saying that the passive does not have maful bihi, so please do not get confused and make it an absolute statement that the passive cannot have maful bihis. Passive have an exceptions of taking a maful bihi when there the fail is mutadi lil mafulain. And inshallah we'll look at this example to see how it works. Please do the example, Sister Hodma.
Okay. علمنا منطق الطير.
Mm-hmm.
Um, علمنا is
Okay, first tell me
passive
ulimna is a
because,
passive. Why?
because it's fi'l madi
Mm,
and we have the pattern of the second letter being kasra and then what's before that having a dhamma.
mm-hmm.
Um, and
So,
then
and what is your if it's a passive, what is a naibul file here?
the na'ibul fa'il will be the na, so nahnu.
It's a nahnu. Very good. And we do not look for the outside because it is nahnu.
نحن.
Good.
منطق الطير. Would that be an idafa fragment?
It does this look like to you?
The second letter is in jar and the first does not have an al and a slight.
Yes, very good. That does look like a jar majrur
That was
to us. So muntaqut at-tayri is a idafa fragment, and that is coming here as what? A maful
مفعول
bihi,
به
maful bihi,
because
right?
it answers the question what. Yeah, مفعول به.
Maf'ul bihi. So we have ulimna muntiqat tayri. So we were taught this muntaqat tayri. Tayr means bird. birds, and muntaqis means speech, the speech of birds. So we were taught the speech of birds. Why the speech of bird? Why the before speech?
why the
Why the before speech? Taught the speech of birds.
منطقة we were taught علمنا. I don't know the grammatical rule.
Oh, you do not know that grammatical rule. Who will refresh
At-
Sister Hodma's
الطيري is,
memory?
you said, the
Yes,
bird.
Atairi is the bird.
I don't know. I know this is Prophet Sulaiman, so
No, no, no. You know this rule, Sister Habiba.
Yes.
Why the speech of birds?
Ulimna Montika Tairi. Speech of no.
Sister Samia, your turn.
Okay, because we have mudaf mudaf ilayhi, and if mudaf ilayhi is proper, then it makes the mudaf proper. So
Very good.
atayri.
Thank you so much. Sister Hodma, Sister
Jazakallah
Habiba.
khair.
Is that came back to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did it after all.
So I know because we got rusty after some time. We need to revise our concept, over and over again. So we cannot just move on to the next one and leave the other one behind. So they come up again and again and again. So inshallah, we will help each other, refreshing our
Yes,
memories.
inshallah, definitely.
Inshallah. So do you understand this thing? Okay, Sister Samia, I want you to convert it into an active form and took
Okay.
any doer you want.
Okay, so um, my brain needs to switch on now. Okay, so علمنا. So
Allama yuallimu.
علم علم يعلم.
Mm.
So يعلم
Ullimna is past, right? So you have to
yeah,
convert it into a
علم.
past, right?
We need to put it into, oh, it's past. Okay, علمنا. We were taught. So علم.
Mm.
That's the ماضي.
Mm-hmm.
So علمنا.
No, no.
No,
Why the alumna came here? Why the alumna here? When you go to the active form, why where Niable file would go?
it's نائب الفاعل will become the مفعول.
Bihi. And what is a Niable file here? Nahnu, right?
Yeah, نحن, yeah.
So we are not concerned about the Nahnu anymore because
Yeah,
it will go into our maful bihi part. So we
yeah,
have to find a doer, any doer, right? Either a
yeah,
pronoun
okay,
and an outside doer, and just make
okay.
a verb fail and file. If you want to use inside doer or the outside doer, it's up to you. So give me an active form of
Okay,
the.
so can I just do in English and not in Arabic? So we were taught the speech of the
Mm.
birds. It can,
How would you do it in English?
yeah, we were
So
taught.
what is the action?
Let me say that again, sorry.
What is the action?
Taught, were taught.
Okay. Uh, what is will be a active action?
Um, to teach.
Past forms of teach.
Taught. It's
So
taught as
it will
well.
be taught only. Were taught is passive.
Not were. Yeah.
Taught is the active form of a verb, right? So
Okay.
the action is taught. Since this sentence is passive, do we have a doer?
No.
So
Okay.
who
Okay.
thought we
Got
do
it.
not
Okay.
know, right? So put
Okay,
some
yeah.
doer here, put some file here before the
So
taught.
we can say he taught.
He
So
taught, and then
علم.
sorry, he press doing the English, right? You saying
Yeah.
that you want to do the English first. So he taught,
Yeah.
he taught
Mhm.
who?
He taught us
He taught us, and he taught what?
the speech of birds.
So what do we have? He, doer, taught verb, us is first
us.
maful bihi and the speech of bird is our second maful bihi.
Yeah.
So we have the active sentence. He taught us the speech of birds. Now convert it into English. Oh, Arabic,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. So, علم,
Mm.
علم, and then us is
Where
na
does
as well, isn't it? Na,
so what does the maf'ul what is the attached noun for nahanu?
na.
Na, right? So it will
Yeah.
be allam.
علم.
Allam now will be like what? Allam now will be we taught.
Yeah. So
So
how do why? Okay, I need help. علم, علم, and then I need to add na to it. How do I do that?
think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I can do, I am leaving you as a homework for all of you to convert this into a active form, right?
Okay.
So when we have you're right, when we have a maful bihi as a pronoun, you have to attach it to the verb, and now you have to come up with this um, a tricky
Uh,
situation here.
yeah, I think because of the we did it a long time ago, and then we've gone through so much. Now I'm finding it hard to go back to that. Inshallah, when I go over it,
That's
I
why I'm
will go
leaving
over it.
it there with you so you can revise
Okay.
and come back with the answer, right? So that
Yeah.
will help you revise. If I do it now, it would not
Yeah.
push
No,
you
we
to
won't be
go
as
to revision,
effective.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
inshallah, all of you, this is for not just Sister Samia, this is for all of you. And when you then you have to message me separately, not on the group.
Okay, inshallah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
very good.
Yeah.
So we are at the end of our topic here, and we are summarizing our passives. Sister Habiba, can you please uh, do the summary of the passives? Either read it from here or
Sorry,
explain it any way you want to explain it to us.
sorry. I have to go down for picking up my
Okay, no problem.
son.
No problem.
Sorry.
Sister Hodma.
I'm so sorry it takes so long to go off mute.
That's good.
Summary of passives. A passive verb, the doer of the action is unknown.
Okay.
Okay.
You have to, this is something if you just read quickly and explain it to us, okay? So this is the
Okay.
summary. I
So
want you to explain that in your words so I can see how much have you understood, and if there is misconception, I will remove, inshallah.
okay. So all along before we did active sentences where we know the fi'l and fa'il,
Mm,
um, but in this case we know the action is known,
mm,
but the doer of the action is unknown.
very good.
To recognize a passive fi'l, first check check the tense first, and that's because both madi and mudari' can be made passive.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is a past tense, look for the following sounds. Um, I, u, u.
Oo,
This is
oo,
just
e, not e, oo, oo. Where does the Arabic language start from? The right hand side, right? Not the left hand
um,
side.
yeah, but for this, I think because of the way they said it, I always go by the last, in the
No, no,
middle,
no, no,
then
no, 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 no. You
okay, fine.
always start from the first one because last letter is amazed untouched. All the passive start with the dhamma, but only the past passive can have more than one dhammas in the beginning and would end at the shadda. So it will be like oo e or oo e sound,
Okay.
right?
Um, and
And
if it takes that pattern, then it X was ed, so it's past fi'l madi.
okay, so I don't want to see what's written there. I want you to explain it to me. How would you identify? Like you said it like e oo oo, but it's not a right approach. So I corrected you. So try to
Okay.
explain it to me in your understanding. So when you look at the verb, how would you find out that it's a past tense passive or a present tense passive?
Okay. So I would they both there's four rules basically for both of them. Two they share and two they don't. The two they share is that the last letter remains as it was in the original fi'l.
Mm.
and that any sukoons are left as they are.
Mm-hmm.
فعل ماضي, you give a dhamma to every letter, but the second last letter, which you would give a kasra to.
Okay, good.
And فعل مضارع, you would give a dhamma to the very first letter, but then a fatha to the rest.
Okay, yeah. So if you spot something like this in Quran, then you will identify that this is a present passive or the past passive by looking at the harakat, and you ignore the sukoon and the last letters. So
Yes.
this is how you identify a passive. Um, and about the translation, that if we have a past tense, how would you translate it? Give me an example, like to teach, right? So then give me an
Um,
example um, and
to
tell
teach.
me, yeah, so how you convert to teach into present and present passive and past passive.
Okay. Um, a past tense
Mm.
passive, God, would be
What would be the normal past tense? Give me one example with the teach.
he taught them.
He taught them, right?
And if it was passive, it would be he was taught.
Okay. He taught them, and the passive become he was taught. So who was taught them? He was taught or them were taught?
Oh, wait, it would be they were taught.
It will be they were taught. So he
Yeah,
taught them and they were taught would be a passive. And what about the present?
teach. To teach. I teach. I teach Arabic,
Hmm.
or Arabic is taught.
Arabic is taught. Very good. Very good. So is that clear to everyone so far?
Alhamdulillah. Yep.
Okay. Now I want Sister Samia to please give us the quick recap of fi'l lazim mutadi and fi'l mutadil mafulain.
Okay, so fi'l al-lazim, it can't have maf'ul bihi, it can only have the it 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 yeah.
So
Fi'l
give
so
me an
fi'l lazim.
example if it cannot take maful bihi. So what is an example of such a word?
Um so he so so slept, for example. So you can't have s- yeah, slept, right? So slept is an
Sleep.
example. You can't
Yeah.
have slept.
Okay. You say maful fi'l lazim something that cannot take maful bihi. Then it's
Yeah,
such word that cannot have any d- uh, when you speaking in English, you will say any word that cannot have details other if unless we include some preposition to it. So it cannot put something or someone after it
someone after it.
directly. Yeah, so that is your fail lazim. And when you have a fail lazim, there is no maful bihi, so they cannot be made passives, right?
Yeah,
So this, if you remember it this way,
okay.
you will uh, remember it the whole story,
So,
right?
so I
So
can't say slept, someone slept something, I have to slept on, I have to add a preposition, so therefore
yeah,
it can't be made passive. Okay.
very good.
Yeah.
Now to
Fair
mafil mutadi.
المتعاطي. So this one can have a maf'ul bihi because the original has two maf'ul bihis. So one is a maf'ul bihi and one is
Fail,
the
we're talking
noble
about
file.
maful bihi mutadi, not mafulain.
Oh, not the maf'ulin. Okay. Oh, I missed the beginning. Did I miss that part? Or
No, we are just doing this something on a screen. I want you to explain it in your own
okay,
words. You explained fail
okay,
lazim. Now
yeah.
you have to explain fail mutadi.
So
Then you
this
have
one
to
can
explain
be
mutadi.
made. Okay,
So
this one can be made passive. Transitive verb.
okay. We have fail lazim that cannot take maful bihi, but we have a regular fail which is fail mutadi that can take maful bihi. And if then and fail can take maful bihi, it can be converted into passive, like we said, eat, like I eat chocolate. So chocolate is what maful bihi. So the word eat can be converted into a passive, like chocolate is eaten. So this
Oh,
can be
this is
converted
just a
in
normal
that's what
sentence.
called maful fail mutadi, and fail mutadi can be converted into passives.
So that's just a normal one that we've been doing all this time.
Yes, this is
Okay,
something that
all
we're
right.
doing all this time. Now we have
Okay.
mutadil lil maf'ulain, and this is something that fail mutadi that takes not one but two maf'ul bihis. And if we have that situation, this can be converted into a passive. We call it a mutadi, but we convert one of its maf'ul into an naibul file, and the other one remain as a maf'ul bihi. And this is the only exception when in the passive sentences you found a maf'ul bihi. Okay, is that clear, Sister Samia?
It's clear. So the fail mutadi is just the normal, your normal sentence, which is converted into into a passive.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Okay.
so this is where our chapter is ending. So any question regarding the passives are welcome here. So please ask me if there's anything unclear and anything you want me to explain it to you, because next week, Tuesday, we will have a quiz on passives.
Can we do that? The mutadi li maf'ulain, the example. Can we
Yes,
go back to this? How much time do we have? 5 minutes? No.
we have some 20 minutes, please. Okay, so example is here. علمنا منطقة الطير منطقة الطير. So, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to explain the example to you again?
I want to see the so this is I just want to see where the two maf'ul bihis are.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the attached pronoun, that's one. Then and then the mantiqa the speech of the bird. So mantiqa at-tayri, that's the second maf'ul bihi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
This is something I gave as a homework, so I'm not going to explain
yeah,
it to you now. So
no,
this is something you have to either listen to the recording today, look at the previous lecture, and convert it into a active sentence. When you did that, the concept will be absolutely clear to you. And
okay.
I'm deliberately not doing it here because if I do it to you, then your brains will not work and
Mm-hmm.
you will not understand the concept as it should be.
Yeah.
Right? It will
So
be
then,
my
yeah.
words against your brain that will get lost somehow. But when you put your
Mm-hmm.
brain into action, that the idea will be solidified in your head. So because this
Okay,
is a
yeah.
tricky one, how to convert a sentence with two maful bihis into an active one. So you know this is the reverse engineering, it's a reverse process.
Mm.
So if you go back to the rules, I'm telling you the rules here to everyone. Please listen carefully. So when you have a passive sentence, you have fail and enable file, and in case of mutadi al mafulan you can have also a maful bihi, right? So if you come across a normal fail mabni al majhul, then what you do, you convert the enable file into what? Maful bihi. Your fail will convert into a respective form of a active fail, the regular fail. If it's a past, then a past normal, and if a future, then sorry, present, then the present normal. And your your naibul file will become maf'ul bihi. So what haraka with the maf'ul bihi will get? If it's a naibul file, what
Mm.
would be the status? And if it's a maf'ul bihi, what should be the status?
The noble file will be rafa, and
Hmm.
if it's maf'ul bihi, it will be nasab.
So you will convert the rafa into nasab, right?
Mm.
So that will become a full page. Since we have a passive, we do not have any doer. So, and you're converting into active, you need a doer. So if you do not have a doer, put any doer in place. And rules of the inside and outside doer apply. If you want to put an outside doer, you can put the outside doer any one. And if you want to put the inside doer, then the for respective form of a verb will explain what the inside doer is. Right? So this is our normal one. If we have mutadi lil maf'ulain, so we have one um, naibul one maf'ul as a maf'ul bihi, another maf'ul as a naibul file. So the maf'ul bihi that was a maf'ul bihi will remain the maf'ul bihi. The naibul file, which was a part of the jumla of failure passive, will be converted into a maf'ul bihi. So the rafa will become nasab and will become maf'ul bihi and will come after your fail. Now again, we have a field that has been converted into a respective form of active, present or past. But now again, the same thing. You do not have a doer, you have to put any doer in it, right? In this case, you have a confusion that because we have a pronoun here, maful bihi, and we know that maful bihi as a pronoun is always attached to the fail in active form. So here you have to, something in the previous lecture that we have studied, how would you do that? So that is the only tricky part here. The rest is normal. Okay. So is
Yes.
that task clear to everyone? The,
Yeah,
the
the task
process
is
clear to
clear
everyone?
then.
Yeah.
Yes. So then, yeah, then I don't have questions, inshallah.
Okay. If you couldn't get it even in your when you're doing homework, you can ask me or you can send me whatever you have and I will explain it to you. But you need, first of all, you need um to think about it and see how we said, because it's been long time ago, so
Yeah.
you can forget it. It's human brain. We all can forget it anytime. So, sister Sami, any other question regarding the passives?
No. No, alhamdulillah.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Sister Hodma, Sister Habiba, any questions regarding the passives?
No, just a bit of a comment. I feel like I understand the theory, but when it comes to putting it the say the active fi'ils into like I don't know, I just feel like I don't know fi'ils. I don't know enough vocab to put the theory into practice.
You don't need a vocab to do that. Like if you have a word in English, you can understand it can be converted it into or not. When you have a word from Quran, like an Arabic word, and you say, I don't know whether it is can take maful bihi or not. What does it transitive and intransitive? So when you have an ayah, you have a sentence structure, right? Even if you do not have the meaning, you can see in the sentence structure that it this is the passive has a maful bihi, because you, as Sister Samia say, what are the grammatical way of analyzing that the word in the jumla is a maful bihi? It should be in which status?
I'm so sorry, I just got distracted. Please could you repeat that?
I'm telling you that when you have a passive and you say that if it's come out that it has a maful bihi or not, like in Quran, when you're doing when we are studying, we are not converting anything to anything else. We are doing all the conversions to make our concept clear. But when you have a fail in front of you, you will look at it, you will see it's a active or passive. So if it is an active, we have done all the parts. Even if you do not know the meaning of a verb, you can grammatically label it, right? When you have a passive, we have the a, and e, and a to say that it's a future or past passive. And if you have identified that it's a passive, then you know either naibul file is there, if it's an inside or an outside. If it's outside, then we find look for the rafa, and if it's an inside, you know whatever it is, because you can formulate a chart from this word. Now talk about the maful bihi. What is the status of a maful bihi in a sentence?
Nasab.
It's a nasab. If we have in a passive sentence, we say normally it does not have any maful bihi. We can have what? Mutaliq bil fail there, or zarf zaman zarf makan. If you have any fail in nasab state, any ism in nasab status, or any fragment in nasab status there, then you can think that this is the, because why this is because the fail before it is what mutadil mafulain, and that's why we have this maful bihi. So even if you do not know the translation, if you do not have the vocab, you can grammatically label it. Vocab is needed for translation, not for grammatical labeling. Are you understanding?
Yes, I know what you mean.
That's why up till now I have always discouraged you to look at the translation. And I've always told you to grammatical label it first so you know what parts are what. And then we look at the translation, because most of the things you can convert into the meaning. Only the few words that are unique that needs a meaning from. That's why I say not use the Quranic translation, use the app for the meaning. so that you can, they will give you the mostly the meaning of the hua format, then you convert it into whatever the inside pronoun is or doer is, then you put your um, practice of using a meaning of a word into what the relevant meaning of the word. And since we cannot attempt Quranic translation now, we can match it later with the translation in Quran to see how much we have attempted. But for grammatical labeling, you do not need meanings at all. You can identify the word as a fail or a ism. You have the markers, so you know that this part is a fail or an ism. So you can always label it. Is that clear
Yes, inshallah.
now? Okay. Any more
Jazakallah
question?
khair.
No,
So
Barakallah fi.
the drill at the top, I missed it. Can I quickly do it, or we don't have time?
It's nothing,
Okay.
nothing to worry about. It's very simple. You just have to say the mutadi or lazim, so you can do it
Okay.
easily. Okay, so let's end our lecture here.